Good morning. It's Wednesday, May 20th. I'm Scott Wright, and I serve as the Decatur City Manager. I want to talk with you briefly about this transition that we're hoping to make through the assistance of Governor Pritzker's office and how it relates specifically to Decatur and Macon County. We've had a couple more positive cases here in Macon County, but on balance, I would say that we can still describe the trend and the statistics here in Decatur-Macon County as being flat. The numbers haven't gone down, but they're not going up either. And because the overall numbers, both for Macon County and for this central Illinois district, continue to be better than most of the rest of the state, I believe that we are on track still to move to phase 3, what's called phase 3 in Governor Pritzker's Restore Illinois program, beginning on Friday, May 29th. So that'll be a week from this coming Friday. Now, the details of the phase 3 Restore Illinois program are still being worked out, both by the governor's office and by the Illinois Department of Public Health. But we have some indication of what they're going to look like, both based on documents released by the governor's office and those released by the Illinois Department of Public Health. And so I want to share a little bit with you, understanding that these are a little bit of work in progress, but I understand, and everybody at the city understands, and the city council understands how anxious so many businesses are to get back opening, and the city wants to facilitate that reopening to the greatest extent that we legally can inside these guidelines. So for bars and restaurants, it means that not that they will be able to resume indoor dining. In fact, the regulations specifically say that there's a prohibition on indoor dining. You can pick up the food, but you can't eat it inside the restaurant. Now, there's a little bit of room for interpretation there. Can you go to a sandwich shop and have the sandwich made and then take it out? We think so. There are specific rules that are going to be set out with regard to barbershops and salons, so that those of us whose hair is getting long because we need to have our hair cut can have those services, but only with approved safety and social distancing guidelines. With regard to spas, for example, to fitness studios, they can have programs and activities outdoors, but indoors it's limited only to one-on-one personal training. Retail shops are going to be ones that experience a little bit more flexibility as well, with the ability to open up with certain guidelines, not only social distancing, but also maximum capacity in those retail establishments. Some of you have already experienced that at some local retailers. So these are coming along. They're not opening up perhaps as much as some would like, but I really believe that what local officials are trying to do, that the health department, the city and county government is trying to find that middle path between making sure that we don't have a lot of indoor gatherings where those infections can more easily spread, but still allow business and activities to resume on a slow basis, but so that we don't have those infection numbers rise back up again. So you'll receive some more information from the health department and the city and county government as we get closer to these, but the transition date, I believe, will be May 29, just a week from this Friday. Thanks again for your patience through this long endeavor, and thanks for all of your assistance as we move forward together.
Hello, my name is Emily. I'm a health educator at the Macon County Health Department. The COVID-19 pandemic has touched all aspects of society, including how we work. Those providing essential services to our community are working longer hours than normal, picking up extra shifts, and even working at night. This is leaving less time for them to sleep and recharge. Adults need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, along with opportunity to rest while awake. Long work hours and shift work combined with stressful and physically demanding work can lead to poor sleep and extreme fatigue. Fatigue increases the risk for injury and deteriorating health. While there is no one solution to fit everyone's needs, here are some general strategies that workers and employers can use to help manage workplace fatigue and work safely. It's important that workers recognize that these are stressful and unusual circumstances, and you may need more time to sleep and recover. So here are some tips to help improve your sleep. Try to have a cool, dark, quiet room. And also, if it takes you more than 15 minutes to fall asleep, set aside some time prior to bedtime to relax. So try meditating or practice relaxation breathing. Before you begin to work a long stretch of shifts, try banking your sleep. So this is sleeping several extra hours longer than what you normally do. Avoid sunlight and bright lights 90 minutes prior to your bedtime when possible. Exposure to bright lights can make your body feel that you are more awake. If you work night shift, wear sunglasses on your way home from work to reduce exposure to the bright lights. Also, consider using blackout shades in your home. Take naps when you have the opportunity. A 90-minute nap before working a night shift can help prevent you from feeling tired while you're at work. Eat healthy foods and be physically active. This can help improve your sleep. Before you go to sleep, avoid foods and drinks that may make it more difficult for you to fall asleep. So avoid alcohol, heavy meals, and nicotine 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. And also avoid drinks with caffeine in them within 5 hours of bedtime. So it's also important that you know what to do if you feel too tired to work safely. So use the buddy system while you're at work. Check in with each other to ensure that you're coping well with work hours and the demands. Watch yourself and your coworkers for signs of fatigue. So this is like yawning, difficulty keeping your eyes open, and difficulty concentrating. When you see something, say something to your coworkers so that way you can prevent workplace injury and errors. Find out if your employer has a formal program to help manage fatigue while on the job. Make sure you read the information and ask any questions so that way you better understand the policies and procedures. Report any fatigue-related events or close calls to a manager to prevent injuries and errors. And also, do not work if your fatigue threatens your safety or the safety of someone else. Now, here are some steps that employers should take to reduce workplace fatigue for their workers. So it's also important that you are recognizing that these are stressful and unusual circumstances, and the risk for fatigue has increased. Create a culture of safety with clear coordination and communication between the management and the employees. And spot signs of symptoms and fatigue within yourself as well as the employees, and make sure you're taking those steps to mitigate fatigue-related injury or errors. Also, provide your workers with the consequences of sleep deprivation and provide resources to assist those workers with help managing their stress as well. Allow staff enough time to organize their off-duty obligations and get sufficient rest and recovery. If rotating shift work is needed, use forward rotation, so day to evening to night, and provide staff with sufficient notice of scheduling, especially if there is a shift change. Avoid scheduling staff 12 hours at a time if possible, and familiarize and encourage regularly scheduled breaks in a clean and safe area where social distancing can still be maintained. Also, recognize that it's going to take a little bit of extra time for your employees to practice good hand hygiene and taking on and putting back on their required PPE. Consider arranging nearby offsite housing for those working extended shifts, and also if they're at high risk for COVID-19. By having this housing nearby, that will reduce travel time, as well as it will give them more time to recharge and get that extra sleep that they need. For more information about worker safety and support, please visit the CDC's website, and feel free to also visit the health department's website at www.maconcountyhealth.org. Thank you.